Xin chào, what's up everybody? All right, we're over in Japantown in Japantown. There has been an event that happened at one of the bars about a week ago. It just got into the news today. It's actually like in 100 different news organizations here. It's making big news, surprisingly. It was on the splash page of 5 or 6 different Saigon news places. So yeah, a bar over here. We're gonna walk now. I'm doing an intro. I've got microphones and stuff now, so maybe we can do stuff a little bit differently. But we're gonna actually go walk around, take a look, and see what happened. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Chris. I live in Saigon. My name's Fat and Broke for the YouTube channel. Enjoy the video, enjoy the information. So Ho Chi Minh City restaurant employees beat strip customer for refusing to pay inflated bill. All right, so now through the magic of editing, let's jump over to this shot. All right, we're back over here now. This is the Japantown, Japantown entrance over by 7 Bridges. This is the red light area mainly of Saigon. It is the Japanese food area too. They call it Japantown. So inside of this area, we can't really walk around it now. It's very frowned upon to film during the nighttime there. I can link you guys to daytime videos and stuff. I know all these girls over here. They see me live stream all the time. So we'll turn the camera over here as we walk in this direction. Ciao. So, ciao. Ciao. The employees of a restaurant, yeah, maybe later. The employees of a restaurant in Ho Chi Minh City's District 1 allegedly beat and disrobed a customer who refused to pay bills as he believed he had been scammed. All right, so I've been in these situations, not in this guy's exact one. So pretty much this guy went into a KTV over here. I'm gonna try to show you the exact one so you can just avoid it at absolutely all costs like the plague. I didn't see it on the Google Maps. It said it was on this street, the Duong, but right at the NT here. So there's a KTV over here. This guy went in here. It doesn't say his nationality, you know, they hide his identity, but I think he was a smaller guy. So he goes into a KTV, they tell him it's $40 an hour, which I honestly don't have any idea of how KTVs work. I've been into one, and they tried to rip us off, but I got very loud and aggressive. Same thing almost that you're gonna hear in this story. The one time I've been to one here was almost this exact same story deal. So he goes in, he agrees to the $40 an hour. He's in there for, I think, 2 hours, it says. And, you know, the bills, he's thinking it should be $2.80, so like around 2.3 at tops. And then, you know, 2.5. And he goes to the bathroom and he comes back and he says there's more beer cans on the floor. So then he goes to pay and they ask him for 10 million dong. Essentially, and they threaten him to pay the 10 million dong. He says, no, that's too much. I didn't agree to that price. You said this price, which was the $40. They have very clear what he said. So the guy was very passionate about like going back and getting his money back. They put the location of it over here. So the customer, 52-year-old Dung, went to the restaurant after midnight. It's called Nari, N-A-R-I bar. So there's a Nari bar around here somewhere. I don't know exactly where. We can just stand here and talk because I really can't go too far inside of here. But this is where it gives the address, is somewhere right around here. There's a place called Nari. I imagine it's one of the 700 bars in here. It really is a catacombs. There's people that do hidden cameras and stuff here, which I don't recommend. There's like a police box right here, surprisingly. So if you do have problems, you probably went to this one. I don't know if there's anybody there that late at night, like when he went. But you can see some working girls of the night down there a little bit. So the customer, 53-year-old Dung, went to the restaurant after midnight on April 17th to drink beer and was recommended by employees to purchase a service package, which included, like I said, beer and karaoke for $40 an hour. I'm gonna assume, what's up, bro? What's up, dude? I'm gonna assume, I'm doing a YouTube video, I'll hit you up afterwards, dude. Yeah. I'm gonna assume that you wouldn't think for $40 you're gonna get just just beer and everything included. I think $40 is just the rental per hour. Again, somebody let me know in the comment section about the karaoke deal, because I actually validly have no idea how it really runs. So when he entered a room, he was served by a female employee who sang and drank beer with him. 2 other female employees later joined him. When Dong went to the toilet and returned, he saw that there were too many empty beer cans on the floor. He believed the waitress brought empty beer cans in to charge him extra, so he chased them out. At 4 a.m., when Dong asked to pay employees, gave him a bill of over $10 million worth of services, food, beer, and taxes. Dong said he was charged inappropriately compared with the $40 per hour service package he purchased, and so he refused to pay. Conflict arose. He threatened to call the police. Several employees at the facility then surrounded him and refused to let him get out. Tram then stepped in and said the bill would be reduced to 9.5. So one of the employees that runs the place is like, oh, we'll just drop it down to 9.5 million. Again, I'm going to talk all about my situations in this and why I don't go to any of these bars anymore because of similar stories like this. Dong continued to refuse to pay and threatened to call the police. At that point, in my situations, they're already starting to hit you. Like when you're already to that point, there's already violence happening. I've been in these situations twice. And every time, I'm telling you, you're already going to get hit. When you're already saying you're going to threaten the police and you're not going to pay, they're already going to start to get aggressively physical with you and be like, where's your card? They'll take your wallet if they can. Depending on how drunk you are, they'll go through every card and find a card that'll charge it. It's wild, dude. Like out here is the wild, wild west. I mean, it's balls on this guy for going to the authorities. You usually don't see that happen. But this happens here on a nightly basis. This is not like something that happens only every once in a while, man. So then he said no, he's not going to pay the 9.5. He refused to pay up and threatened to call the police. At that point, 4 restaurant employees, I don't know why they call it a restaurant, it's a bar. This is not a restaurant, so 4 of the bar employees, which yeah, I've talked about this. This used to not be the scenario down here. This became popular 3 or 4 years ago, this whole grift that they do. So there's a bunch of dudes in the back of almost all these bars now, and I think they pick a person, dude. I think they wait till a guy comes in and they decide based on what they think his level of drunkenness is, let's have this guy be the mark for the night where we're gonna make our nightly income, you know. Though one of the ladies in Texaco that owns one of the lady bars, dude, she's driving around a BMW like M Roadster, dude. And all she does is own one bar there. So if you're not understanding why I don't like going to these places, they're still cool. Like, and if somebody would be like paying for something, like if a person comes here and they really wanted to go on like a tour or something, we'd probably still figure something out or stuff like that. Like more now than ever, I think I'm going to put out a bunch of information on the Patreon about like this stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to start doing the tours again, but I'll definitely upload a bunch of information on the Patreon about these places and more tips. So, I mean, all right, so 4 of the bar people from the back came out. I've been in this situation before, I'm telling you. I know exactly what happened here. He was with the bar girls in the front. He got the crazy bill, or he went down, or he was in the thing. And then they came up. Oh, he was in a KTV. So I had it happen to him in a bar, like similar story like this. But he was in a KTV, so they probably actually came into the room. So they probably have even more control of you in a KTV, to be honest with you. So they rushed him, they beat him, they disrobed him. An employee then recorded a video and threatened to publish it online if he didn't pay. He then threw Dung out on the street naked and closed the doors. They took Dung's credit card and used it to pay for the 9.5 million bill. They then returned his clothes, forced him to sign papers, the bill, before letting him go. Dung then went to the police where what happened. An investigation is ongoing. His name's been changed, of course, for the article. So they ended up taking the guy, beating the crap out of him in the room, which I don't know why you would beat the guy up, but that is what they do. Violence is a first thing here. Like everybody thinks this place, nobody talks about this stuff on YouTube. Everybody acts like, because a lot of these people, they don't actually live in these cities and come here all the time. You know, like I've seen a lot of the YouTube videos that are popular here are guys that straight up have a hidden camera, which if any of these people knew that you were walking around here at night, hidden camera filming them up close, like where their face is clearly on the thing, they would absolutely freak out. These guys are doing well to hide the camera though. We watched it on my alternate kick channel, my gaming at home channel. We saw they're hiding it like a whole camera in a box. Like they're hiding stuff to where like they're hiding it, you know. So it is dicey down here. I've run into these problems before here. I've run into a very similar situation of where I've gone into a place and I've had 2 beers, maybe over an hour. I'll talk about the one instance. So the one instance, it was me by myself, and it was at one of these places. This was years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It was at one of these places. I had 4 or 5 beers. I had bought 4 or 5 lady drinks. You know, I figured somewhere around $100. This is before like it got expensive. The prices here are really expensive now. Like it has upped the price. The prices got exuberantly more and more and more expensive as the months go. Look at all the girls down there. It's just like a field of girls down there. Like they're all hiding. They're very possessive of this block. They're very aggressive to you as well. Like these girls will be very vicious if you go down there with a camera right now. But yeah, so I was expecting the bill to be like $100 tops. I think that bill came in at like 13 million. It wasn't here. It wasn't in Japantown. It was at Texaco. That bill came to like 13 million or 15 million. And I immediately was like, one, I wasn't drunk like that. And I was like, you're insane. I know what the cost of the stuff is. You know, it's like $4 a drink pretty much to $6 a drink. And I calculated, I shouldn't have left the tab open. I should have been paying, but this was like one of the earlier times when I was going to these places for like the first time. This might have been right when I came here, so like 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago. I kind of want to stay in this area while I continue to tell the story. We'll keep pointing the camera here, because I mean, we're literally talking about this. So I mean, long story short, I start arguing. I'm not getting physical or anything. I'm starting to really voice up, and I'm like, no, I'm just not going to pay. And I refuse to get payment. And I'm like, let's go to like find authorities. Let's, like I did what that guy would do, because you're a tourist, you know, you think you're like in a Western society, right? You're like, oh, I'll just get the police. Well, for one, there's no police. These guys, I don't think are police. They watch cameras and shit, but I think they're security. I found them to never be helpful. They're sometimes here at night. In fact, these guys are, in my opinion, maybe on some kind of, you know what I'm saying? I've seen them run people out with cameras here late at night many a time. So if you get what I'm saying there, I'm not implying anything or anything like this, but you know what I'm saying. So, you know, this was in Texaco, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay. And I'm like, I'll pay you this amount, and then I'll leave, or I'll just leave. I'm like, you can choose. I'm like, you can pay a proper amount, or you can try to rip me off, or I'm just going to leave. And it was like, I think it was me and like five or six girls. Dude, they started hitting me, bro. They immediately started hitting me as I got up the walkway. Before I even like started walking, they started hitting me and requesting payment immediately. So this technique is used over and over and over again. I ended up paying because I didn't want to, how am I going to fight women and hit chicks? Like they're hitting me in the back of the head, they're hitting me all over. I also had the same thing happen with a Patreon tour I took a guy on, dude. It got rowdy in one of the places and they tried to overcharge us by so much. And he was like cool to pay it. And I was just like, I'm not going to have him pay this because you're trying to rip us off right now. And it was admittedly one I had never been into. And they started doing the same thing, getting violent immediately. Like the second you started being like, no, I'm not going to pay, come up with a real amount, violence ensued. So you're not going to get, I mean, that guy had the night of his life. Come on now, for real. That guy literally had the night of his life in hindsight. But still, it's absolutely a danger here. And you have to watch your back. This goes for Texaco and Japantown. Xin-chao. All right, we're back. I actually have more things to add to this video. Now, don't get me wrong. You can completely come to Japantown. This isn't like a, oh my God, you're going to get absolutely robbed like this guy if you come to Japantown and you drink. That is absolutely the opposite. I still have 2 bars I can go to where I just know the people that own them here, that they'll always treat me well. The staff there will always be good to me. So, I mean, it'll always be a functional time if I really wanted it to be there. And you can do the same thing. You could take the time to go walk around in here and like find the place where you want to spend time at and maybe buy a bottle and go back there all the time. Get to know the mama-san and the girls that work there. Then you're not going to have a problem. That is totally different than what I'm talking about. This guy got preyed on because he's guaranteed a tourist, and or he's a expat that lives here, and he's newer here. Like, you know, us old timers. I mean, there's still I'm sure some guys go out. I don't go to these places at all anymore. Like the interest is like less than zero because it's like going to a strip club all the time almost. I equate it to the same thing. And I don't need to sit down and talk to a bar girl. Like I have a wife. I don't want to sit down and talk to a bar girl and pay her to drink with. The concept doesn't even, I get it, but I don't need it. But I'm not shitting on that either. If you want to go and do that, you're more than welcome to. For me personally, in my life, I don't go to these things as much as I used to. And there was a point in time where I used to. Like I wasn't really big on going and talking to the girls that much, but it was just going out and doing stuff when you're new in Saigon, you know? There's a lot of things to do. So you're totally okay to come here. Just watch your ace. Don't carry a tab. Pay cash. And, you know, watch your six, man. And if you're worried about stuff, really come out with a friend. Like the Japanese have this all locked down in here. They're never going to really do that to a Japanese guy. But again, a Japanese guy's just going to pay the bill if it's too much. Like I've been in a bar here when they've overcharged a Japanese guy. And I've tried to be like, whoa, bro, they just charge you $20 to just sit down, dude. They charged you $500K to literally sit down. And he's like, I don't care. It's still cheaper than Tokyo by a lot. And I'm like, so I mean, if you give them, they'll take an inch and they'll take a mile every time. Like, especially in this industry. So it's kind of why I just stay away from it. Again, it's up to you. Like I know this girl right here in the black. I know that's the one girl I can go to. Lighting so bad. So, all right, that's the video. Stay frosty.